Hello, you are listening to the Be Your Own Coach podcast. I am Deanne, Life Coach Day. This is episode 4, and today I am talking to you about 100 days consistent. So, 100 days consistent is a challenge that I made up for myself to help me move out of stagnation. It was a time like, I think a few years back, I just wasn't making any progress. I wasn't moving forward. I had all these goals that I wanted to work for, all these things that I wanted to accomplish, and I wanted them really bad, but I just wasn't making any progress. So, um, I remember it was like the beginning of somebody's presidency. I don't know who it was, but and you know how they kind of review like what has the president accomplished in the first 100 days, right, of presidency. So I was like, I wonder what I could accomplish in 100 days. It just kind of got me curious, like if I really, was more disciplined and was more consistent, like what could I accomplish in 100 days? And so wondering about that kind of got me, I just decided to make a challenge. Like I decided to make a challenge that I would try to be really focused and be really consistent and just, I don't know, just get off my butt and do something for 100 days and just practice using that discipline. And so the first time I focused on one of the actions, um, one of the actions that I focused on was working out. So the first time I did the 100 days consistent challenge, I only focused on the action, right? So I focused on one action, and that action was working out. And my goal during that time was to lose 30 pounds. And in the end, I ended up losing 23 pounds, which is definitely success. And I'm definitely proud of that. And it worked for many reasons, right? So, but as a life coach, I know that it would have worked. The 100 days consistent challenge would have worked even better if I focused on coaching myself as well as focusing on the one thing that I wanted to do consistently. Right. So that's why I'm doing this challenge again. And I'm not just going to focus on the one thing that I want to do consistently. I'm also going to focus on coaching myself, being my own coach, right? Because I know that as a coach, I know that getting my mindset to where it needs to be, like mindset is everything. And I know that um getting my mindset is like the key. It's like the key to everything. It's like having the key to all the doors. You just need the key and then everything will open, right? That's what being able to manage your mind, having the proper mindset can do, just get you results. So knowing that as a coach, I'm doing this 100-day challenge again, and this time I'm focusing on two things instead of just the one thing, just doing the one action. I'm focusing on being my own coach, right? And when I say be my own coach, I'm like encouraging you to take out time to see the way that you're thinking, to take a look at your perspective on things, and just see how your thinking and your perspective and your beliefs have a direct impact on the results that you're getting. Like how is it impacting your life? How is it moving you forward? How is it holding you back? How is it causing you to experience fear? How is it causing you to experience doubt? How is it making you feel confident so that you can move forward and get things done, right? So when I say coach yourself, it's kind of like you're coaching your brain. You're learning to manage your mind and to develop the mindset that you need to help you get results that you want. And I know this is so important because of the model, which is a coaching tool that I learned while training at the Life Coach School. And so basically, the model states that we all have circumstances that happen in our life, and the circumstances that happen, they're all neutral, regardless of what they are, until we have thoughts about them. And then the way that we're thinking about our circumstance determines how we're going to end up feeling, right? And then our feelings, the way we're feeling, typically they cause our actions, right? They determine what type of actions we're going to take next based on how we're feeling. And then once we do those actions, if we continuously do them, they're going to get us results, whether they're good results, the results that we've been wanting and waiting for, or where it's like the opposite of what we want, right? It's where we like stop working toward our goal. We quit on our goal. We sabotage ourselves. We talk ourselves out of moving forward because of how we're thinking. And so this time around, while doing the 100-day challenge, I want to focus on coaching myself, and I want to focus on the actual action that I want to take. And so I want y'all to come with me. I want you guys to do this challenge with me because I know it's worked. I've done it before. I already know that the model works. And also, I want you guys to experience that. And I need y'all because I need some accountability too. Okay. I'm human. I know I'm a life coach, but I still need some accountability. And I still want to have some people along my side doing this with me. And when we get to the end of that 100 days, we'll be able to celebrate and look back on how we've grown. Not only will we accomplish stuff, but we're going to grow and change as people. And the way we grow is going to have a big impact on other areas of our life that we're not even focused on doing this challenge. Okay. And then also, the skill of self coaching is something like once you have the skill, you know how to do it. And it's just up to you how often or when you choose to use it, right? But you'll always have that skill long after this 100-day challenge, continuing to make impact on your life. Boom. So that's the number one thing that the 100-day challenge is focusing on. The number two thing that the challenge focuses on, again, is the one thing. The one thing that you're going to do throughout the challenge, the one thing that you want to become more consistent at. And the one thing is also the name of a book. It's a book by Gary Keller. And the book basically states that, like, if we prioritize, right, it argues that if that prioritizing and focusing on one important task at a time, if we do that, then we can achieve like amazing results and build momentum towards our ultimate goals, right? So if we're just focusing on one thing and being good at that one thing and being disciplined in that one thing, right, it's going to spill over into other areas. So like for me, the last time I was focusing on going to the gym, and it did actually spill over. Like I noticed I would go to the gym. I gave myself like, I just had to work out for 15 minutes. I did a minimum baseline, which I will get into minimum baseline later, but I gave myself, minimum baseline is just the bare minimum that you can do consistently. Like you can commit to the bare minimum. So I can commit to a 15-minute workout no matter what kind of day I have. If it's long, if I got to work out in the middle of the night, I could do 15 minutes. If I got to wake up super early, I could wake up 15 minutes earlier. Like 15 minutes, there's no reason that I would have to cancel or couldn't get 15 minutes in. So that's like your bare minimum, right? Not bare minimum. It's called the minimum baseline, like the minimum amount that you would want to do something. So if you want to drink water, the minimum cups of water you want to take, the minimum steps. If you're writing a book, the minimum pages or chapters or whatever. So your minimum baseline. So my minimum baseline was to work out for 15 minutes. And I started out 15 minutes. Then eventually I started going longer, like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I may have done an hour sometimes. Then I started noticing that I would start making healthy eating choices. Like I wasn't eating perfectly healthy all the time, but I was making healthy eating choices more often because I was consistently working out. And then I started meal prepping. So then now I'm eating healthier more often and I'm meal prepping. So like I'm planning my meals and things like that. And then I could see different like improvements that I was making at work, just being like more organized and more kind of um disciplined, really. Like I was learning the skill of being disciplined and not letting things come up and veer me away from what I needed to do. And that skill was spilling over into like career and my eating and things like that in different relationships, like how I showed up in relationships. And it all came because I was just focused on being consistent with going to the gym. So it's okay to focus on one thing because I know we all have many things that we want to accomplish, and the thought of focusing on one thing might just seem like it's not enough. But when you focus on the one thing, just know that the discipline and the consistency that you're creating from focusing on that one thing, you're going to start to benefit from that in other parts of your life too. All right, so the two things that 100 Days Consistent we focus on, we're going to focus on you being your own coach. And so I will be teaching you the skill of coaching yourself so that you can do that daily. And then you're going to focus on doing the one thing consistently for 100 days. All right, so if you did this challenge with me, and when I do this challenge, what do you think you will accomplish if you did this? If you did one thing consistently for 100 days, what could you accomplish? I want you to take a minute and really think about that. Like, what could you accomplish if you found the one thing? Like, if I did this one thing consistently, you know, what could I accomplish? And your one thing will depend on what your goal is, right? Something that's important to you, something that you want to accomplish, something maybe you've been putting off. Maybe you haven't been taking care of your health and you know that you need to take care of your health. Maybe you've been putting off starting your business and you want to go ahead and just do like one thing to get that started, one thing daily. Or maybe you want to it doesn't have to be daily either, by the way. It doesn't have to be daily. I want you to think about doing something consistently. So when I say consistent, I kind of mean like regularly. Like you don't have to do it perfectly for 100 days. And if you mess up on the 11th day, then it's over and everything is ruined. It's not that, it's just being consistent, like showing up regularly without quitting. Right? So if you were looking at my video, you see these cups of water and it says what we think consistency means. And then it has pictures of like 7 cups of water and they're all filled perfectly almost to the rim. And then it says, and that's what we think consistency means, perfection, basically doing something perfectly repeatedly versus what it actually means. And then what it actually means is you see those same 7 cups, but it has different amounts of water in them. Some of them don't have no water in it. So, right, consistency does not mean be perfect at it. It means show up regularly. You know what I'm saying? Show up regularly and don't stop. And build up your skill of not letting things stop you from showing up. Because a lot of things are going to come up that want to stop you. And that's where that self-coaching comes in. That's where me teaching you to coach yourself so that you can be your own coach any time of day, anytime you need it. Like, to have that skill and to be able to use it at any time is going to be amazing, because you're going to be able to coach yourself through any situation at any time, right? And you'll just learn it. You'll just learn and grow, learn and grow, learn and grow, right? All right. So yeah, consistency does not mean perfection. It just means consistent. Be consistent. Don't stop. So as we know, being consistent can be very hard. And one of the reasons why it can be hard is because maybe we're not clear. Maybe we don't have clarity on exactly what it is that we're trying to do. So we're not really consistent because we just doing some of this, some of that. We over here, we over there. We moving toward a certain direction. We think we doing the right things, but we all over the place really, and we not really making progress. So we need to get clear, right? Or we have unrealistic expectations of ourselves, right? Or we're afraid to fail, so we don't even try. We don't want to fail. We don't want people to see us fail, so then we don't try, or we got too many distractions going on, or we don't have the accountability that we could benefit from to help us move forward. And so since we're not making progress, we get a lack of motivation, we don't have no momentum, life happens, we burnt out, like all those things are reasons why consistency can be hard, right? But the benefits of this 100-day consistent challenge is that we are going to learn the skill of coaching ourselves on those things that come up and that typically stop us, but also we're going to have each other to hold each other accountable, right? I'm going to um, have a one-on-one kickoff coaching session for anyone who decides to join 100 Days Consistent. We're going to have a one-on-one coaching session to start us off the 100 days so that you can get clarity on what it is that you want to accomplish during this 100 days. So you can be very specific and pick the right one thing that you can do consistently over the challenge. And you're going to make progress. We're going to build momentum because we're going to keep each other motivated. You're going to track your progress. Seeing your progress builds momentum, and it's going to make you want to show up even more and do even more and add even more. And then you're going to be creating those habits that you need to keep going. So instead of something coming up and it usually stops you, or you have experienced fear or doubt, and now you're like stopped in your tracks, you can't move, you're going to have built the habit of coaching yourself through that so that you're not stopping. And then you'll have created other habits, like the habit of showing up and following through even when you don't feel like it. Like, you're going to create habits like that, and that's going to spill over. And then those habits are going to increase your confidence, having you feeling good about yourself, good about your progress. Then you're going to start to trust yourself more because you're trusting yourself. Like, when you set a goal, you know that you're going to show up. You're not going to, um, you know, let the fear of failure stop you from doing it. You're going to work through that, keep going, and you're going to start to trust yourself not to let things stop you from working towards your goal. Or if it stops you, like, it doesn't keep you down. It doesn't cause you to give up or quit. And you're going to trust that you will, when you set a goal, you're going to accomplish it. Or when you plan to do something, you're going to show up and you're going to actually do it. And all of that increases your chances for success. And that's what I'm all about, helping my clients have success and helping myself to some success too. So the 100 Days Consistent Challenge, it is going to start on May 11th. So if you're interested, you need to join now. Go to my website, coachingdaydreams.com, and join the 100 Days Consistent Challenge. The way it's going to work is it's going to start on May 11th, and 100 days later will be August 18th. So that's when it will end. each week I'm going to post a new podcast, and it's gonna be like a different technique you can use for self-coaching, right? Or like explaining the process of self-coaching in stages. And so then you'll get a journal and you'll practice what is discussed over the podcast, right? So you can go out. This is an excuse for you who love journals. Go out and buy a really cute, super cute journal or two and get ready to use it, because we need to be coaching regularly. Because when I say regularly coach yourself, it would be bomb if you could coach yourself every day, but I would say between 3 to 5 times a week. Let that be your goal, 3 to 5 times a week, because it doesn't have to perfectly happen every day. But if you get in the habit, it's just going to create the habit of you like thinking more intentionally. That's what coaching does for you. And then, so you'll coach yourself regularly. Now, this is like this option is like the freebie option. Coach yourself, listen to the podcast, get a journal, coach yourself. But if you're trying to go a little bit deeper and you're trying to get that next level experience, I'm going to encourage you to take the 100 days, $100 deal. And so basically that is where, with this one, you will get the one-on-one kickoff coaching session. That is where I will meet with you individually, through a virtual meeting, and we will have a 1 hour coaching session. And this is where I can help you clarify what it is you want to focus on, or maybe I could coach you on something that you're struggling on, or I could answer questions. Like, basically, I want to use that time to help make sure that you know exactly what your one thing is, and that whatever you need, I don't know, it depends on what you need, right? But we definitely need to touch on the one thing at least in the meeting. So then I'm gonna provide you with a self-coaching journal, and that's gonna be like an e-journal. So it'll be sent to you electronically, and that will last you. It'll provide you with 100 pages so that you can get through the whole self-coaching. I mean, the 100 days consistent. It's also going to have some information in it about um, like what self-coaching is, why self-coaching is actually self-care, and why this is good for you. And then some self-coaching prompts, because sometimes when we sit down and try to like coach ourselves, it might be a struggle, or we just might need some direction. So self-coaching prompts will be in there. Then twice a week, I'm gonna have 2 live check-ins. And during these check-ins, I am going to walk us through the process of self-coaching, depending on what the topic was on the podcast. Then I'll walk us through that topic that was discussed on the podcast. And then I can answer any questions. And then we can go into some group coaching if time allows and if there's a need. So that will happen twice a week. There'll be 1 hour check-ins twice a week. And we will, I will record them too. So if you miss the check-ins, they'll be recorded, and you can get the recordings of the check-ins in the private Facebook group. So we're going to join a Facebook group. That's where the check-ins will be sent. And also we can communicate and let each other know how we're doing toward our progress on a daily basis if we want to. Or like if you need some motivation, you could check in and see what people are talking about. If you're discouraged, you can put that in the group and we can kind of encourage you. We can ask you, I can ask you some kind of self-coaching prompts. Like if that's needed, I'll probably post those in there. So 100 days, $100. If you are interested, if 100 days consistent sounds like something that you feel like you could benefit from and you want to take this journey with me, please visit my website. and you can join 100 Days Consistent. My website is coachingdaydreams.com. And yeah, join me. I would love to have you. I need y'all. Like, just like I know people need the coaching and the skill of self-coaching, I need y'all. Okay. So let's do this 100 days together. And I want to thank you for listening. Thank you so much for listening, guys. I hope you join me on this 100 Days Consistent journey.